Hello, fellow TIs. If you want to, you can skip this part of the video to go to the main video, which starts at 5 minutes and 14 seconds. Just skip to 5:14 to be able to watch the main video. The only reason why I'm sharing this is because YouTube will not allow me to share this video that I want to share concerning my testimony. And I'm just adding like 5 minutes and 14 seconds on this video, hoping that they will not notice that I'm uploading the same video, so that way I can share the video that I want to share. I am considering leaving the United States and declaring political asylum in Nicaragua, maybe Argentina. For now, I'm just praying on it. Looks like I'll be staying here a while. So anyways, God bless, peace. Hello, fellow TIs. I've been trying to share a video for the past 2 days, and it's been virtually impossible. I've even tried changing the name of the video that I want to share, so nothing works. And then on my other phone, see all these green files, none of my videos are playing. So I'll see 303 megabytes, but then when I click it, it doesn't play, or it'll say 0000000 file cannot be played. So I've been hacked, and I cannot. I have one video that works here. All these videos that are green, just all these green right here, none of my videos will play. And a private investigator that I had talked to, I got a deal on, he shared me a few photos from last week. He's not sure, but he's very suspicious. So I'll just share this real quick. Hold on a second. 74BHZK. And then there's another one. 41DVQ. So I'm not saying they're perps, but the guy that I hired, he told me that he noticed that I was being observed and people were at a corner on each side and were circling around my vehicle, and that I didn't notice, and I didn't. So he was watching me and my surroundings, because I told him that I had a really weird encounter with a woman that anytime I showed up, it didn't matter if it was 3 times a week at 3:12, on Wednesday 6:14, and then on Sunday 11:19 a.m. she would show up like seconds later. And I use stingray detection apps, and they would go off prior to her arrival. And there were times that once they exited my residence, it would go off. And then I see this woman, and I would see her with a camera. Instead of looking at the water on a very cloudy day, she would have her chair pointed directly at me. So imagine you're looking at a lake, and someone puts their car, and they're just staring right at you. It was really, really eerie, and she would come with people that were military, they were ex-military, covering up their tags. Some of them even had Purple Hearts. So there must be some type of Purple Heart group, defense contractor. So the video that I'm about to share with you guys, hold on one second. I've tried uploading it now for the past 2 days. I changed the name of it, see if that would help. MP4 file. I've done this thousands of times, no issues in the past. So this video is very, very personal. It's something that I would never want my children to ever know if I ever had kids. Not family so much because I'm already grown, but I made mistakes when I was younger. And I'm going to share this video because it may be beneficial for a private investigator, may be beneficial for a congressman, a federal investigation, a reporter. So this will help people to understand how long I've been targeted, and also some of the strategies used to neutralize me and destroy my health and my happiness. But I'm still fighting on, and I've never laid a finger on one perp. I don't harass, I don't break any laws, I don't do anything illegal. I've changed my life, and when I was a kid I made mistakes, but the year 2000, when I changed my life, became Christian, got involved in spirituality, my life has changed. I'm a grown man, and I shouldn't experience this type of targeting state by state. Greetings, fellow targeted individuals. I hope you're having a great day. I want to share a few things about my life. When I was a kid, I did some time, and when I got out, I started a Christian-based business. I remember working a job for like $5 an hour. I think it was a little bit less than that, actually. It was close to $5. And I bought this truck one day. I just hopped on a city bus. I was nicely dressed. And when the bus got to the last stop, I just started walking through neighborhoods. And all I had was $750 and an idea to make money. So I just started walking through a neighborhood and seeing a sign on a truck, and knocked on the guy's door. I told him I want your truck, but all I have is $750, and he said sold. He was selling it for a lot more, for thousands of dollars. So I bought some cheap cleaning supplies from a Dollar Tree, a little vacuum cleaner, a lawnmower, and I went to work. Went to realtors and started cleaning homes for multimillionaires, like 3-4 story homes. And I was just a kid. But I want to go back before this time because I had quite a few falls in life. Now, prior to this, I was in jail. I'd got in trouble. And let me see if I can find okay, here it is. This right here is one second. I hate to do this because people can see my passwords now, but so what? Okay. Had to enter it to log in. I might change it once this video finishes. I hope it didn't capture my PIN number that I'm putting in. So here's the Bay County Jail. Prior to starting this business, that small little Christian-based business, I came to jail because I was a troubled kid. I was hanging around the wrong people. And I had confessed everything to police. Like crimes they didn't even know I could have done. So I just told them I did that, this, and that. But I made a serious mistake. One of the crimes I confessed to involved checks, and I gave the checks to someone, like half of the checks. So that person got in trouble, but they asked me, did you give that guy those checks? And so I'm thinking maybe he snitched me out. So, but because why would they ask me unless someone had snitched me out? So I just admitted to everything that I had done. I felt that bad about my life. 2 days prior to getting arrested, I just was feeling horrible about my life. Knew that I was going down the wrong path. And a close friend had talked to me. I was like, you got to change your life. So going to jail was the best thing for me. And while I was there, I had contemplated suicide. I actually had taken sheets from my bunkmate and my sheets and started soaking them. And I was looking at 18 years. That's what the state attorney wanted to offer me. I only did a few years. And my roommate's name, they called him Max. He was from Haiti. And this is the thing about it. I'm Puerto Rican. I'm a U.S. citizen. And I don't even speak Spanish. I'm buying Spanish CDs and flashcards by the thousands. I got a whole box there, Pillsbury Approach for Spanish. My whole entire family will tell you, I'm 45, I don't speak Spanish. If I go to Puerto Rico like I did a few months ago, they'll all tell you I don't speak Spanish. So I'm learning now. I grew up in northern Alabama pretty much. So this is what's interesting is that I was taken when I did what I did, I realized I made a bad mistake and that I'd possibly get hurt severely or probably killed. So I hate to share this, but I'm going to have to do it. There was a place around here somewhere called the Bay County Jail. It's like 20 miles away from this jail. And I was placed in protective custody. They transported me one night in this protective custody dorm. And there was a guy, now he owns a bar. He was there for DUI, I believe. His name is Tony. He owns the Splash Bar. And there was another guy that he committed a DUI and killed 2 people. He had like 2 beers. He wasn't even drunk. Feel sorry for the guy. His wife started eating cat food to survive. And one day he was dropped down Thomas Drive and killed 2 kids, 2 young teenagers or college students crossing the road. They ran right in front of the car. So even though he told me he wasn't drunk, they charged him with like DUI, manslaughter. I think they gave him life. So that was around 2000. He killed 2 people on Thomas Drive in Panama City Beach. I believe it was during spring break. He was someone that I talked to every day in the protective custody dorm. And Tony, which owns the Splash Bar in Panama City Beach, he was there. And all the inmates were saying, don't take him to, don't take him to the Bay County Annex. He'll get killed. They were screaming. And this is what occurred. The sheriffs took me from there. And this is what's even more strange. I'll talk about that in a minute. Anyways, they take me and they put me in this dorm called B dorm. And they put me right next to the bunk of this guy that I don't say conforming on. I just messed up and said, look, I did this. I'm responsible for everything. I had assumed the guy, actually, because they asked me, did I give him the check? So I automatically assumed. That was one thing I almost thought about not saying nothing, but like I felt so bad about my life, and I just wanted to get it all out. And I regret it. So they put me in B dorm, also known as the Thunder dorm, and someone else had died in a similar situation. And they put me right next door to this guy's bunk, and there's like over 100 inmates in there. And I had pictures. I didn't plan this. I couldn't sleep. I have pictures, and I've shared them on, I don't know where they're at. I didn't plan this, but I'm gonna see if I can find it while I'm talking to you guys. So my family had came during visitation. I've shared these pictures on Facebook, and I don't want to make a lot of noise for late, but these pictures show my family has me too. I was beaten, and from B dorm, and I was taken out within, I would say, 3 minutes. They put my bunk right next to this guy. They drove me there on a van with the sheriffs, and I was taken back all the way back down to the Bay. So the annex, that's the Bay County Annex. Now it's the main jail. But before there was 2 jails, one here, down here somewhere, nearby a bay, and then a bayou, and then they had the other half the inmates over there. So they take me back, and they put me back in the protective custody dorm, and then I'm there for a while. And then they called me, and they take me. Said, we're not going to put you back in B dorm. They take me and put me in a Department of Justice. The inmates didn't even know this even existed, because the jail's just one main floor for all the inmates. I think it was right on here somewhere, and there's 2 dorms. There's like a left one here, and then there's another one right here, and they're both 2 stories. So my roommate named Max was a Christian, and he talked a lot about the Bible. And then there was another guy, I believe he was in Florida State Penitentiary, and these are all immigrants that have all done their time in prison, but like they're waiting to get deported or seeing what's going to happen to them. And some of them, they actually would just keep for life. They would just like send them somewhere else to another prison because they couldn't be released. Not so much because they were dangerous, because these guys have been rehabilitated. Some of them were so old that they belong in retirement centers. So this was in 2000. So if I can get the records from immigration for 2000, both sides of the dorm were interrogated. They had police came in there. So what's really strange is that it was the biggest black guy
that was a security guard for the Bay County Jail and the Annex. And he talked to Tony. Tony was a Cuban guy. He was the biggest Cuban I've ever seen in my life. I apologize if I'm not looking. I'm looking for photos of the beating. I didn't plan this, so maybe I might just add it to the video later if I can find them. So Tony was on the left side of the dorm. He was like the biggest Cuban I've ever seen. He can get two guys that are 200 pounds and hold them like this right here against a wall. Massively large. And I remember that they had brought police to interrogate both sides of the dorm. Then eventually it took me, instead of like the left side, they put me on the right side of the dorm over here on the top floor where my roommate with Max was at. But while I was over here, there was a guy from Ecuador, and my family sent him a pair of shoes because they knew. I'm gonna make sure it's still recording. Okay, make sure I'm in that space. They knew that I didn't speak Spanish, that my life was in danger. But I didn't know until recently that it was actually illegal to have me in an INS dorm. Just a couple of days ago, I discovered this. So eventually, they take me out of there and they put me in a medical dorm right around here. And they had a guy from life management that came just to give me an evaluation before I got sentenced and everything. And they had me in this medical dorm. And then the U.S. Federal Marshals had planted an informant in my room, in my cell. And in the medical dorm is right next to the... hold on a second. I got to plug it up to the charger. It's almost dead, this battery. So they put me in... I think the photos are here. Let me keep looking. So they put me in this medical dorm, and the U.S. Federal Marshals put an informant, and then they come in, and the lady that she worked at that time. Oh shit! Let me make sure my camera's not dying. Hold on 1 second. Let me. Oh shit! I'm gonna have to edit this video. Oh, cool, it's still going. Okay, so I had my chargers right here. So they put me in a dorm. Let me raise the... I'm sorry, this is not coming out that great. I didn't plan this video. So let me see here. So this guy that was in there asking all these questions and stuff, and above the cells, a bunch of little holes in each room, and they'd come every week, and they had this guy that would come and bring out, I guess he was getting cassettes or something out. They were recording in there. So they get this guy out, they take my letters, and the lady had told me, the guard, she was a black woman. She's actually one of the people that had taken me. Again, they had taken me 2 times. And it's actually on my court stuff that they had done an evaluation on me. So she drove me to life management. She worked, at the time, was owned by CCA. So if all those guards, if the government would go through the IRS, like for all the people for that company, they could find these people. And from there, I went to prison. This is before I had my Christian-based business and everything. So, Department of Justice had taken me out of protective custody, had me placed in B dorm, knowing right next door to this guy. And this is what's even more interesting. They may try to hide it, but the document came from the state attorney's office in Bay County, Florida, and it shows a picture of me. And the guards had stated that was the first time they've ever seen anything like that, where the staff were almost all gone. They had like one person for like 200 people. And the guard had told me that if I wouldn't have got out of that dorm, he told me I'd have left you in there because I would have probably got killed. He says it's a miracle. When I was getting out right when he was slamming the door, and I remember laying on the ground, my body was full of cut marks that like toothbrushes and razors, stomp marks. I had shoe marks all over my body. So it was crazy. So that I go from protective custody, 20 miles away, I think. Then they put me in B dorm, take me back. Then they bring me back to put me in INS. I was there for like, I believe 2 or 3 months. And those are more than 2 months. I don't speak Spanish. So they placed me in a life-threatening situation. Then they put me in a medical dorm, and I was tested. I'm not going to go into that. I believe they were trying to set me up. And the U.S. Federal Marshals came in there. They came in there like their gear and said, U.S. Federal Marshals. I also was taken by police from here to the Lynn Haven Police Department, where I took a polygraph test and passed it 18 times. Then they brought me back. They were furious. So after that, I thought I was done. Well, hold on a second. I'm going to share something with you guys. I don't know if I have it here. Let me look for it real quick. So hopefully it'll last for a second here. I gotta find the document. So they take me to jail eventually. I do my time. I get out. I change my life. And there's a document here that I want to share with you guys. And I gotta find it. I may have to end this video and do this video another day. But there's a guy that was running for a position in Pensacola, Florida. And I need to share this with you guys because here it is. This is it right here. The guy's name is Ray Russenberger for City Council at Large, Pensacola. This was around 2000, I think, in 3. And I drove from Panama City with a friend. This guy was having a cookout, and my friend had known 2 people that were going to this thing in Pensacola, Florida. A guy in a U.S. Air Force outfit. This is when I got out and everything was started my Christian-based business, changed my life. I was actually preaching in a church, and I went through a lot of attacks. I had a lady from Langley that came my way. And when I had my Christian-based business, got out, started my Christian-based business, doing the right thing, preaching in churches, I had people that would come my way and like, look, we want to recruit you into a homosexual church. We're gay. God will love you. We'll help you. We'll put money in your pocket. I had people try to run me off the road, like literally run me off the road. There was times I'd be walking and police would be like, get on the ground. And they would start searching me. I'm like, what the heck? I couldn't even take a walk. This was back over 20, it was more than 20 years ago. More than like half my life ago. And I was being targeted. So even though I had passed a polygraph test, even though years had passed by and started my business, changed my life, I was being slandered and attacked in every way. So I get out, change my life, and in 2000, I ended up falling. Not like into crime, but like just spiritually. And I had this woman I had to take care of in the church. She kept trying me and I told her to stop. And my pastor was going to pay for my education. And I became a stripper for a while. And the place was called the Splash Bar. So I felt bad about it. I ended up stopping it, made a couple $100 every time I did it every night. So like I was like, no, I'm not doing it anymore. I just wanted to make sure she'd have housing. She had kids and family, and her husband cut her off. I had to support her until she got her own place. So I find it, this is all so embarrassing. But I gotta let it all out. So I didn't go back to crime. I've changed my life, who I am. But I wasn't like that big holy roller no more. I wasn't respected by the church. I told an assistant pastor. He told a pastor. I thought I could trust him. I told him I messed around with one of the people in the church. She kept trying me, trying to sell Mary Kay, making moves on me. And I fell. And then he told the church, and the church was like, get out of here. I think he also wanted the position that I was looking at. I had people offer me stacks of money that were wealthy. I think maybe he was jealous too. The pastor was going to pay for me to go to a top-notch university through this nationwide, that churches nationwide, so I can preach. And he had really good connections. So I've been out of jail for years, and then lo and behold, I'm still being targeted. And a guy in a U.S. Air Force outfit came there, and there's witnesses from this party. And there's no U.S. Air Force base in Pensacola, Florida. The guy walked up to me and called me a spick. And this is what's really interesting. The investigators had told me about something about, did someone in the U.S. Air Force ever call you a spick and you shot them? I told them no. Do you know a guy named Mike Brady? I told him no. Now let's check this out. Let me type up Mike Brady homicide. Now this is what's really interesting. Back in 1996, I was dating someone that knew these people that I never met. Let's see, Mike Brady homicide. I typed it up wrong. Let me fix it. So I go to this club with these people. I'm chilling and having a good time. I'm a kid. And one day I get pulled over by the police telling me that I am going to be interrogated for a murder of a U.S. Air Force pilot named Mike Brady. Now, at that time, I was a young kid, and a lot of the guys I knew in the country, they had guns. We'd go out, shoot BB guns, 22s, rifles, 45s, and this is not it. Hold on 1 second. Let me see if I can find it. The guy was a U.S. Air Force pilot, Mike Brady homicide, Panama City, not Panama City Beach, 1996. So, in 1996, I was pulled over. I go to jail in 2000, and then they had me under investigation. So I believe I was being set up all that time to get in trouble because I was being harassed and targeted. So let me see if I can find it. That's weird. Mike Brady homicide, 1996. So, anyways, let me see. I'm gonna see if I can find it. Mike Brady. Homicide. Panama City, Florida. It should come up. I don't know what's going on here. Well, I'll just keep talking and I'm going to look for it. I'm going to look for it on Google. For some reason, Brave browser doesn't have the best search results. And this thing happened so long ago. Well, there was a show called Unsolved Mysteries a long time ago. I don't know if you guys remember that show from back in the days. It was a very popular show. They actually aired something about this homicide. So at the time when I had taken the polygraph test in 2000, because it happened in 1996, I was interrogated, and in 2000 I was interrogated. Well, while I was being held in jail before I went to prison, they asked if they can search my room. I was like, yeah, with no warrant. I told them, go ahead. And I passed the polygraph test, allowed them to search my residence. The murder weapon is there. Okay, here it is. Right here. So you can research this yourself. You're going to want to search for it on Google. If you use a different browser like Brave, you're not going to find it probably. So the guy was murdered. But this is what's really interesting. The person that I was dating used to hang out in strip bars. Well, people that know me know that I've only gone, I don't care for strip bars. I only went a couple times in my life. There was one time because this girl was Asian. I really liked her back then. I had a crush on her. And she was dating this guy named Cheo. And that was the only reason why I went. My friend Hung, I think in my whole entire life I've been to a strip bars less than like 8-9 times. So, but this guy was hanging out in strip bars regularly. And the person I was dating was into going stripping a lot. I was a kid back then, so she knew these people a lot closer. And then she had ham radios, she had police connections, and then she changed her voice and called police that I killed this guy. And this is what's really interesting, is that when police played the audio, I told them, I know who said that. That's my ex. And when I left my ex, she had done this immediately to me, because there were signs all over town saying, if you know anything, you'll get a reward. So back in 2000, I had received a letter from my girlfriend. The U.S. Federal Marshals took all my property, all my letters. And I was told that everyone that I knew, they were confronted by a sheriff. And this same sheriff, Sheriff Jimmy Stanford, was sued by my father when I was like a little kid, like I think 10 or 11 years old, because for assault. Well, my dad was in the Air Force. So this is really interesting. This guy's running the homicide, and then the person I'm dating is accusing me of this, but it's closer to these people. So I got her away from all that crowd. And when I was younger, I was into a little pot and all that stuff. And I got away from all that. And I never thought that they would, here in 2000, they'd place me in a life-threatening situation where they meant to kill me. It's what they meant to do. They take me out of protective custody. They put me in B dorm, in the biggest dorm in the whole county, full of hundreds of black people. Probably, it's huge, it's massive, and it's a big open dorm. I got every black person beating up on me. They take me to the main jail for 20 miles back of it, and then they bring me back again. I mean, they were trying to, like, this thing about me though, I don't like talking a bunch of smack. Not just that, I took a polygraph test. I'm not even talking about war games. I'm sharing all this stuff because this is my past. And it seems like these people that have been doing this, they don't want me to move forward. So I'm just letting it all out. I don't know who did it. I have my suspicions, but I don't have any proof. Because around 2005, this guy that had worked there, he gave me this like mean look, like he wanted to kill me. I don't think he works there now, but anyways, there was a young black kid that came into this place. And this is for adults, and he came in and he looked like he had a gun, and he kept looking at me. When I walked out, he walked out suddenly, and I really believe that that little kid, they were going to use that kid to kill me. That guy was nervous that I knew something, and I heard his car got blown up. And maybe he thought maybe someone told me something. I don't know. So I've always wondered if maybe he knew that kid who because he's the only black guy there, and there's a black kid coming in an adult establishment. So I never went back there again. And then around 2014, I started getting more like into the Buddhism and just seeking peace. And I've been moving state by state. But let me share something with you guys. There's a place called Capstone in Panama City. Capstone. You see, Panama City. Panama City. Okay, hopefully I don't run out of space here for my... Okay, it's still recording, thank God. Okay, I think this is it. So there's a place called Capstone, and the lady that works there, well, at that time, she lived right across the street from my grandmother, and she would tell me, come back here on these certain days so we can just chit-chat. So I was looking for spiritual advice, and this guy would show up every time that I got there, like seconds later. Well, it was discovered that this guy worked for InfoGuard, and that this guy went around my back, and he was going to places spreading lies, and he told this guy told my grandmother's neighbor that I was a pedophile, and that lady told my grandmother, and since then we haven't talked. Well, I had a friend that worked at the police department, and he found out that there was not one case, not one investigator, no one that was investigating me for that, and there was no accusations, that it had to have been a lie. Because he told me he's close with all the investigators he would have found out. So the FBI has done this to other people, and one guy sued them. So the FBI can cause shootings, they can cause all types of problems. Not with me, because I'm a non-violent person. But if they were doing this to people in ghettos that had nothing, and they were doing this to someone, maybe they only have one relative to support them, and they cut them off, can you imagine the harm that can cause? So the FBI tried to destroy my life. And then I had the CIA, they came to my school that I was going to. It's called Gulf Coast Community College. And they had the CIA logo on the vehicle. Gulf Coast Community College. Actually, I'm not going to get into it now. I'm just going to share what happened. They came and they had the CIA logo in the front of the vehicle. And then when I signed up for an Excel programming class, they came in, and the teacher said, you guys are more advanced than me. Why are you here? And it was through the continuing education class. There were the only two other guys there. and they would sit next to each other, and I would see them using Notepad, and then I would notice my computer was shut down. They were hacking me. And I went to school after school since I've been a young adult to my 20s, 30s, 40s, even cybertechs in Austin. They told me that the city was supporting this. Then I go to, it's called free.net, to get CompTIA A+ certifications, IT certifications, and they tell me the teacher there, and I have his name. Hold on 1 second. He is a project manager. This is the exact same piece of paper, and his name is Kevin Lemieux PMP, project management professional. And at that time, we were talking when he gave me this, because I told him that I went to school to get my PMP at the University of the college in New Mexico, by the University of Mexico, I believe. So anyways, so he tells me that this program ran by Mayor Steve Adler, that he was informed by FEMA and the U.S. Army that I was a terror threat. And then a student called me a bitch that day, and then he said that he agreed, so I left. And I went to the education building for the city of Austin. It's like, I think, a 5-story building, and I filed a complaint, never got a response. I can go on and on about stories, about schools. I've left 11 schools. I've been harassed by people in the Army, ex-Army, the lesbians, radical feminists. Even when I left cybertex, I had to go, because my teacher told me that the city was supporting this. And there was a guy named Alvarado, and every day Alvarado would wear black. And then one day he gave me a paper with my social security number, and that freaked me out. And then what was really weird, when I would get home, the lady that lives right beneath me, for 1 year, every time I got home, she would walk outside wearing all black, and then she would go right back in. It always made me think. I was like, ooh. And then I had the thing with Citizens Corps. They'd wear black, and pacing around. Anyway, so it made me think, am I dealing with some type of COINTELPRO? That's what COINTELPRO members would do. They would actually put them in houses, apartments, corporate housing, and then they would go to work, and then they would harass their target on their free time. So, anyways, I think I've shared enough. I'm sorry I was disorganized making this. It's like 6 o'clock, 6:56, and I haven't really slept because I just I've been thinking about sharing this stuff, and I haven't. So yeah, I survived a hit from Department of Justice, and this is what's even more crazy. When I went to New Mexico, because I had to leave Florida, I went to New Mexico. When I went to the FBI field office, let me go back. Before I moved to New Mexico, my family had asked me, why are you taking so many computers? Because I had to close down my nonprofit, and because of hacking. I told them they'll be gone in 6 months. They were gone like that. They were gone like 6 computers in less than 7 weeks. So I go to the FBI, and the FBI says, you're delusional. And I told them, no, I'm not. I had got training on to fix computers, but I had to take my computers to a forensic specialist to work on them, because they were done. And the FBI didn't want to see or talk to me. They're like, I told them I've been stalked and harassed. My computers are all gone. They're all out. Can you help me? And then when I moved there, a woman from Virginia had moved into the same apartment complex that I lived in, caught her breaking into my mailbox, caught her driving her car in Tingley Beach. Security said she was looking for me. So then I was harassed by a lady in the U.S. Army in New Mexico. So there's something going on. Something is not right about my case. For me to be harassed for so many years. Then I had to go to Texas to experience this crap. Now I'm in Florida. Anyways, I'm still going through it. Peace.